Lindsay Hodgins was in good company at the Youth Athletes Awards. Here are the top 20 Valley athletes for 2013.
What's it been like for you being part of that program, and how did it work lacrosse into your curriculum?
There were impromptu questions asked at the Youth Athletes Awards luncheon. This gave the audience a chance to get a glimpse of the personalities of the athletes.
Now, Darian, it was a big year, obviously, for the Cowichan Secondary School team. You won just about everything. What elements do you think contributed to your team having so much success?
Probably good teamwork and good coaching.
How about your own personal development? How'd you feel about the way it went the past year?
Tried hard.
That's good. Congratulations, Darian. Now, when I met your family way back when, you guys were all playing football. So, when did football disappear and basketball take over for you guys?
I think when I made the U14 provincial team, it became more serious, and then I stopped other sports.
How's the Cowichan team looking this year?
Pretty good. We should get more consistent in our games, and we'll start doing well.
Congratulations, Josh.
From over 200 nominations, the field was narrowed to the top 20 youth athletes, and then Don Bodger made the final announcement of the event.
Co-winners of the Youth Athlete of the Year Award for 2013, Jed Leach, Chicago Babies. Okay, Jed, you're going first. I guess one of the highlights was you went to Australia, and that was in your off season, so how difficult was that for you to go to an event like that when it wasn't your peak time?
I mean, yeah, it was like the quickest tournament I've ever been into, so like we didn't have like a long time of training. We had about approximately 2 weeks down in Florida, and then we head to Australia and give it our best.
Jed, congratulations on being in the top 20 athlete performers here in the Cowichan Valley. How's it feel?
It feels amazing. Like, I'm really honored to even be in the top 20, so it's pretty great.
I know you're very serious about your sport, but a lot of people think water skiing is just a whole bunch of fun. Is it a bit of both for you?
Yeah, I mean, I have tons of fun when I'm out there, but I take it seriously, and it's what I love doing, so it's my passion.
And what does it take in terms of competing? Obviously, strong mental stance, really good physical ability as well, but what else in your view?
I mean, there's a huge mental aspect of water skiing that people don't understand. You're standing on the dock and you're watching all the other competitors ski, and you can't psych yourself out. There's so many times that I've gone to tournaments and I've just completely blown it. And I think a lot of people just kind of go out there and they think it's just skiing, and you get a bit of an exercise out of it. But no, it's really mental, and because you have to watch all your competitors before you or after you or whatnot.
How do you prepare for competition?
I'm out there almost, I'd say, from March to like September, just training every day, doing multiple sets a day, and just trying to get better. And I have my coach here, Corey Bate. He helps me all the time, and yeah, we train together.
I have to ask you where you ski, because I'm sure I've probably seen you if you're the excellent guy that sometimes is on Shawnigan Lake.
Yes, I ski on Shawnigan Lake, but I also ski in other places like in BC and Washington some of the time, but mostly on Shawnigan Lake.
And how do you train in the cold weather?
It's a bit difficult. I mean, we have like specialized suits for it that keep you warm, and you can't really train to your ability because it's so cold. But I skied on Christmas and New Year's Eve, so that was pretty fun. Yeah.
That's great. Do you think we'll see water skiing in the Olympics?
I don't know. I think it's going to take a bit. You might see wakeboarding in there before. I think it was the 2020 Olympics they were trying to get in there, but I think it's coming, hopefully. We'll see.
Now, Chicago, you shattered a couple of long-standing records. One was 27 years or something, one was 30 years. So that must have been a pretty phenomenal feeling. But going into those meets, were you really cognizant that you could do something like that?
No, I definitely wasn't, but it was one of my biggest goals too. Yeah.
What's coming up for this year? I mean, can you top those performances, do you think?
This year's going to be tough, but I'm going to try my hardest.
What motivates you for competing in track and field?
Just the feeling of success. It feels like I really like that. I find that track and field takes a lot of stress off me, and when I run, my mind is just free, and I really like it. Grade 11, I would really like to make it to Worlds. That's one of my goals. I'm going to try to pursue that.
What about the Olympics? Are you excited? Do you have idols that you watch during Olympic competition?
Yeah, Lolo Jones is definitely one of my inspirations for the Olympics. Well, in Beijing, she fell, and she was going to win, but she got back up, had great sportsmanship, and she trained hard and went back for London.
Yeah, so if you have a bad day, you can learn from that, right?
Definitely.
When we come back after a short break, you'll hear from another young athlete who is determined to include sports as a lifelong pursuit. One of the determined athletes at the Youth Athlete Awards was thrilled to share some of the highlights of her previous year. So Claire, you are one busy sports person. What were some of the highlights of the last year for you?
In 2013, my highlights of the year were probably making it the provincial A team for Team BC. It was my first time making the A team, and we won gold, so it was my first gold championship win, so that was very exciting. And also making the provincials for Francis Kelsey this year was the second time I'd made it, but making it in my grad year was a very special time.
Awesome. Congratulations on all those achievements. Is sports always going to play a great part in your life, do you think?
I've played sports my entire life, and my family is very sports orientated, and I don't think I'd ever be able to play or live without it, so maybe it be field hockey or biking or running, whatever. I'll have to keep active. It's just part of my life.
What about future plans? Do you have your eyes set on the Olympics or any other championships?
There are Olympics coming up, and there's definitely a chance if I motivated myself enough and dedicated my entire life to making that my goal, there is that opportunity if I dedicated enough time. Next year, I've already applied to UVic and UBC, and I'd love to play for either of those teams. I'll have to try out, but it's something I'd love to do.
What are the advantages of sport for you?
Sports is, it teaches you a lot of things that necessarily school or just life in general can't teach you. It teaches you dedication and time and how hard work pays off, and working with other people and teammates, it can help, and rather than being on your own, it's an amazing thing.
So share your philosophy about what you do when things are going badly.
When things are going badly, it's okay to rely on other people. Sometimes it's too hard to do on your own, and it's okay to take in the support from others, friends, family. I have people that I play against who are some of my biggest supporters. Stephanie Lancamer is my best friend, and she's always there for me. We aren't always on the same team, but we're always there pushing each other and supporting each other.
And finally, what's it like to be in the top 20?
Oh, it's an amazing experience. I didn't expect it. I've been in the newspaper before, but being a top athlete is incredible. Whether I'm first, last, or whatever, it's just being here is just amazing.
I thought a key point was you saying, how do they do when they lose, not only when they win?
Absolutely, yeah, and I saw a lot of that this year when I was actually at games, and it's a turning point for a lot of these athletes because some of them are used to winning all the time and suddenly they lose, and just to see their reaction and see how they respond to that, how they learn from it, how they go on from there into future games, and whether that makes a difference to them at all. And in most cases it does. Most of them are level-headed enough. They realize that they're not going to win all the time, and they have to learn to deal with this, and now is as good a time as any.
Yeah, building character is important.
It is, absolutely, yeah. Character is an essential ingredient for them, not just in sports, but it's going to carry them through the rest of their lives, in their schooling, their adult life as well, and many of them are very aware of that right now, I think.
Now, how do you think Cowichan Valley fares? It looks like there are an awful lot of very dedicated sports team members.
Yeah, there is. I think Cowichan Valley fares very well, and that's one of the things that was the incentive for me to get this going in the first place. There's a lot of amateur sports that don't receive a lot of recognition. The traditional sports, the hockey, the basketball, the soccer, get all the recognition. And here we have water skiers, we have horseshoe pitchers, we have so many different things. And you know, those kids are doing wonderful things and as deserving as the others are.
Have you seen a lot of up-and-coming young people who you really believe could be Olympians?
Yes, absolutely. And a prime example would be when we first started this program was Emily Zurr was the first winner for 2 back-to-back years, and she is now playing on the Canadian women's national team and has for several years, and she has played in the Olympics. So, and then following her was Matt Evans from Shawnigan Lake School, who plays on the national team. So there are people there that you just know are in that process and in that stage of reaching the ultimate, obviously.
It looks like the world is in good hands.
I think so, yeah. We've got some very good kids, and I've always said, you know, if they're in athletics, they're busy. They're also good students, and most of the time they're good athletes as well. So they don't have a lot of time in their hands, and in fact, I believe a couple of the kids were leaving the banquet and heading right to a track practice, which they did last year as well, because the weather's good and they're here and the coach is here, they might as well go. So that says a lot right there.
Thanks for joining us on Go Island, Cowichan Valley, here at Shawnigan Lake School. We'll be keeping our eyes on those bright young athletes. Congratulations to all of them. We are certain we'll be seeing some amazing things from them in the future. Don't forget, if you have any story ideas, you can reach us on Facebook or Twitter or email us. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Go Island is brought to you by German Auto Import Network. Women's clothing provided by Tulip Noir. Casual designer fashions. Men's wardrobe by DG Bremner & Co. Menswear and accessories. Hair services provided by Salon J.